Salute.
Uh-huh.
Rudy Low Chronicles, Mr. Foreign, never boring, always scoring. Original Low Life, 2 L's up. We was a group of youths from Brooklyn that mainly shoplift in boots, polo, and it became trending. We full of content, and we could tell you how far it went. We from here to lands all the way in Japan. It's low lights everywhere. Actually, right now, I believe it's 250,000 hashtag, according to Instagram.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. So what's a low life? Why do you call yourself? Why is it low life?
We're low lights because before the terminology low life was birthed, we loved Ralph Lauren clothes. It was vibrant. It was wavy. It was the trending. It wasn't even trending. It was the thing to wear. Salute. It was a thing to wear when we was kids. So of course, low is short for polo. About 87 or 88, one of the original lowlights, Thurston Howell III, Victor DeSuze. We was on a Deuce.
Right.
The Deuce was popular in the mid '80s, the crazy '80s.
For the out of towners, what's the Deuce?
The Deuce is 42nd Street.
Okay.
Times Square. The crossroads of the world. Actually,
Yeah.
it happened to be a coincidence. And we know that New York City is major when it comes to fashion in the United States. We used to go there and take pictures as youths, you know what I mean? Group up and go there. They was up there, Vic is a ladies' man. He got caught talking to another female. So one of her friends called him a lowlife, you know, in a derogatory term, in a way. But one of the great late generals, B. Bill, got hyped when he said that. And he coined the phrase and we ran with it. You know what I mean? It became trending. My peers used to write it up, and it became hip. So that's where the terminology low life was birthed. Like I like to advocate and explain to people a lot of times. Before the terminology low lives, it was Ralphie Kids for SJP, St. John's and Utica, Crime Heights or Crown Heights side, and for Brownsville it was MGV or United Polo Association, Polo USA, which was coined by Ski Black. And shout out to G. George, the OG, the triple OG from Utica that coined Ralphie Kids. Shout out to Camus, Face, Showtime, Mr. No One. He helped with the design of the logo. That's where I come in at from an entrepreneur, entertainment point of view. I have to give a shout out to one of my best friends, my childhood friends, Rack Low, RL Jury. When I was incarcerated, him and Thurston kept the torch going, and they helped it metaphor and be where it is now. So in a nutshell, that's what a low life is.
Okay. So, you know, y'all took the derogatory meaning and flipped it because y'all wore polo, and that's how it basically.
Yes. Basically, we turned the negative into a positive. That's the core of my plights and my childhood. Me and my peers is going from negative to positive. I could say 90% of us was forced into our lifestyle because of our upbringings. You know what I mean? Our family backgrounds and stuff like that, due to alcoholism, drugism, or single households and things of that nature. And it became addictive. But Thurston, Racking them, they helped metaphor change it into something positive. Even though we was children, we was doing negative, but it was similar, like it was sort of a Robin Hood effect. When I say that, meaning this. We was children, we didn't recognize it, but we was entrepreneurs. We did our crime outside of the community. We happened to go to Manhattan, Jersey, Long Island, and do our crime. So when we came in the community, we brought merchandise. We bought merch. We sold clothes to our peers, our mothers, and stuff like that. So we was the cool individuals. We wasn't robbing people, hitting people in the head, and none of that. So we was more easy to deal with inside the community. And as people grew older, and the culture changed, and you know we changed with time. So that's what has become now, because a lot of lowlights have became entrepreneurs, entertainers. A lot of entertainers that wasn't a part of our culture growing up happen to be a part of our culture now in a modern sense. So they bring great dynamics to it. Lowlights when we was children. That's one of the things with me and my peers when I first started out with the music. My peers thought that the terminology low life was going to have a negative effect. That everybody was going to look down on us, and it was going to go with all the negative things we used to say.
Right.
And I beg to differ. I felt that I don't have an alter ego. That's one of the reasons why I chronicleize my life, opposed to saying I'm telling a story, because I don't like to remix nothing or take nothing out. I like to tell events as they go along. As the general public know by now, I was incarcerated for a long period of time. I had life, and that was from misconceptions and misinformation.
Right.
So from that point on, I like to deal with everything black and white or rational and logical thinking.
So, well, not to cut you off, family, but you said you was locked up for life?
Yes, I had a 20-year life sentence because I was a mandatory persistent. 3 strikes and you out.
Damn. So you got caught up under the 3 strikes rule.
3 strikes and you out rule, yes.
Damn, yo. Well, you know, you want to get into that a little bit, what you got booked for? You know what I'm saying?
As you already know, I was a major shoplifter. As a child, I found out the hard way that robbery is a larceny with force. They have 4 subdivisions. One could be with a person actually present, one with using a dangerous force, a dangerous instrument, one insinuating what appears to be a weapon, and I think the other one bringing seriously bodily harm.
Right.
After a while, when we used to get locked up, we was juveniles, it'd be for grand larceny. So we was going to family court, we was getting like similar to a disappearance ticket, somebody come pick us up and let us go. The officers or the precincts was getting frustrated with us, so they started charging us with robbery, overcharging us. It's called wedges bet. I learned that when I took my paralegals course. That's like, let's say if you're going to a racetrack to make a bet, horse A is the top of the line, horse B is the run up. You bet on both of them. If the first one don't win, the second one win. You feel what I'm saying? That's what they do when they go to the grand jury with their evidence, the reasonable review of evidence, and present that to the grand jury. The average person believing and thinks that the officers is correct and they're not going to lock you up for anything. So they're going to believe you did something to the effect. So that's what happened with us. So long story short, early in my career, I had 2 prior felonies. My first one from 16 to 21 for shoplifting, 2 cases, ran concurrent. My second one was 2 days before the Source Awards. I was going to the do a show with Population Cook and the Rhodes family with AZ, and I got caught with a hammer on Mother Gaston. It was a gun charge. I went back in, that was my second one. So the third one was I got charged with allegedly robbing Moni's, a clothing store. They used to sell Iceberg, Versace, and all that. And I got charged with that crime, allegedly tying the people up. I got charged like 6 months later with the crime.
Damn.
Dude, fake friend, fake man, named Edward Jones, bagger, original Junior Mafia member. He testified, took the stand on me, and I received a 20-year life sentence.
Damn.
I advocated and got myself out of freedom, but let me back up. All my life, I was a brute. I dealt with force. I dealt with my emotions. I learned the hard way. I had to use the pen. I had to become mightier than the sword. So I turned around and I hit the books. That's how I advocated to get my freedom. I represented myself pro se.
Right.
I wanted to come out for several reasons. My personal culture that I grew up with, that I loved, that I dedicated my life to, which was low lifes, wasn't accurate. I didn't hold my correct position, and it was falsehood out there. Right. Without getting into the politics.
Right.
So I advocated and got myself out. Getting myself out of prison was, all the way to that point was my highlight. Like, it was like the greatest accomplishment I ever made in my life. Because being in prison is like being dead.
Right.
And it wasn't a coincidence. When I used to be young, I was a rapper. If you Google it, I got a song called Remember Me. Right? It was dedicated to my comrade, my big homie Terminator, that got murdered in Auburn Correctional Facility.
Damn. You was in Auburn?
No, I wasn't in the facility at the time.
Okay.
What's odd is I made a song like that. My peers and all my family remembered me. You understand what I'm saying? So I went to prison. They still didn't remember me, and the ones that didn't remember me in a good light. Right. So, like I said, I had to come back and come back with a vengeance. Shout out to Queen Flip, right? That's one of my popular interviews.
Yeah.
Like I explained to a lot of people, it was, of course, different views of opinion. Some people believe that I don't deserve, or I didn't deserve a chance on a platform, which I don't understand, and I beg to differ, where like half of the culture wears polo right now because of me and my peers. Not just me, but me and my peers. Right. And that's like, it's like non-debatable. It's actual facts. Big up. Like, nobody can debate that.
People in the comments said that?
Yes, people in comments and people on the sideline and other interviews and things of that nature. But I wasn't there just because of my upbringing, or because of who I am. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons, and I'm never going to take it away from me because I'm part of who I am. Mm-hmm. Another reason is it ain't too many people that can get a reversal in the first department at the first stage of Appellate Division, 45 Monroe Street, and do it pro se. Mm-hmm. And I advocated that, and I done that myself. Mm-hmm. I never in my life had a problem with advocating or conversing with no authority figures. Right. Anybody that been incarcerated with me, I do that with the warden, I do it with the superintendent, I do it in the streets, I do it in court. I don't pick and choose my battles. Mm-hmm. Also, in addition to, I know how to become innovative, change, or adapt to my environments like a chameleon.
No, of course.
And I'm sinuous. I'm genuine. Like, for real.
No, of course.
This is from the heart. I don't like to deal with nothing that's made up or decorated or concocted. You understand what I'm saying? So when I advocate from a street perspective or from a community perspective about things that's going on now with the police and things like that, I'm sincere about that. I assaulted police before on the island in '90. I cut police. I always had a problem with authority figures. Mm-hmm. So it ain't like I'm going to stop now.
Right.
I always say this: there's no reason or it makes no sense to have the light on you if you're not going to use it. What's the purpose of having a spotlight or being popular if you don't use it in a positive sense? When I say that, meaning this. I'm a part of hip-hop. Hip-hop is a part of my culture. I love hip-hop. Mm-hmm. When I was a child, hip-hop had a message. Mm-hmm. It was a purpose. It was a cause. Gangs derive and come from Marxism, Carlism. That comes from...
it comes from Marxism?
Karl Marx.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Which comes from... That's where the Black Panthers and things of that nature developed and formed from. That's going against oppression. Right. That's dealing with, again, like I said, the underdogs. Right. The underdogs becoming on the top. Because the cream always rises to the top. That's the best part. So people in our communities, like let's say, for example, like I said again, popularity, people that has positions in organizations or groups or cliques or gangs, they should use it for unification and for things of that nature. And that's the, one of the cores of my logo. Inside my logo is 2 L's in my logo. And I was thinking like this years ago, over 20 years ago. The 2 L's in my logo stands for love and loyalty. That's for people that have love and loyalty to the foundation, which is lowlifes. Love is an action word. You can't say you love somebody without showing physical attributes behind it.
Exactly.
I don't care what nobody say.
Nah, that's a fact.
And loyalty is loyalty. I deal with the eleology of words. That's one of the ways that helped me gain my freedom. By going back to the origins of things. Like I said, the past make the present, and the present make the future. If you deal with all three, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, everybody will have a great understanding of the dynamics in totality. You feel what I'm saying? So therefore, won't be no misconceptions or misinterpretations where years or months or weeks go by and it's harder for a person to correct whatever errors or whatever wrongs that was out there.
Right. Facts. Yo, to ask a question, was you one of the original Low Life members?
I'm one of the originals. I was there when it was created. That day on St. John's, before it became a force, I was there. I'm an original Ralphie kid.
Okay. So you was one of the originals before Low Life?
Yes, before the terminology, yes.
Okay.
One of the reasons why I'm more popular, I dealt with everybody. When I say everybody, everybody geographically.
Right.
I dealt with people in East New York. Even though I was born in Van Dyke housing in 383 in an apartment.
In the Ville,
yeah, South Side. Okay. And then I moved to this side. My grandma moved on this side in 81. I was read and I went up the hill every day of my life. Ralph Avenue, Utica Avenue. But I represent Crown Heights. Because that's happened to where, that's the truth. That's where things derive from.
Right.
Since I was from this side geographically, when SJP and MGV linked together, Vic, which is Thurston Howard III, Disco, I clicked with them hard body. Me and Rack, which was from our side, SJP, we spent the majority of time in MGV.
Right.
Actually, I used to live with Thurston Howard III for a period of time.
Okay.
So I became extremely tight with them. So I got it from diversified from that point of view as well. Right. Also, I was one of the first people to be incarcerated in the beginning. So I made it possible to set that pace while we was incarcerated, and a lot of people, like I said, meeting throughout then.
Right.
Also, I'm one of the violent ones. I'm one of the people that can wear a title of a super trife lowlife.
Okay.
My block, which is the court building in Prospect, the original D-sets is from my block. Trent, shout out to Big Rumble and all of them.
But ain't the D-sets and lowlifes at beef?
It was semi-rivalries, yeah. But like I like to point out a lot of times, it's one famous lowlife that wear both titles, which is Dirge, Tone Low. My big homie from my building, he wore both titles. Original St. John's and lowlife dudes, they know the original D-Sep dudes. But you know, as everything expands and grow on, it get bigger and people don't know people. R.I.P. to my cousin Sean Price, Ruck. This whole building, he's original D-Sep, and that's my first cousin.
Big R.I.P. to him.
Yeah, we intertwined in my first record, actually. Remember Me? I shouted him out because, like I said, it intertwined
that's your
with
blood
my life.
cousin?
Yeah, my blood cousin, yes.
Okay.
But I grew up with the original D-Seps, the original ones, the first ones.
Right.
So it all intertwined in my life. Actually, my life, my family, my older family is Tomahawks. Like
that's
Kato and all of them. That's before us.
Yeah.
So I grew up semi under a gang or clique culture.
Yeah.
Semi, you know what I mean? So I grew up under that. That's like my family ties.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why when I explain,
ain't there those like Crown Heights, Ocean Hill or some shit?
Ocean Hill, Brownsville, up the hill, Crown Heights,
like
Brownsville.
A lot of my old family members talk. That's what
like the old movie theater down in Exeter Sally on beginning of Picking.
Yeah.
Like right there, that used to be one of their stomping grounds.
Okay.
And things of that nature. Like they was the ones. Like Education of Sonny Carson.
Yeah.
That's God bless the dead, Art Bark and all of them was in that. That's how me and my peers. That's how my life metaphor into. Like shout out to Camille Face, Sight Bike, 8 Stu Trey. Shout out to my comrade, soon to be released, Frankie Boo, the OG to GKB. Shout out to Sport Low. I don't know, it could go on. Rob Lowe from the Bronx. The low life culture, it intertwined in metaphor to other things. But like I said before, the 2 L's in my logo was created for Panna, Sight Bike, Face, Showtime, Frankie Boo, the big homie, Archie, my best friend that was Muslim. I'm part of people of other cultures. Actually, shout out to the comrade Henny Lokes, white boy Scott. For real though, it was his birthday like 2 days ago. I just posted him. He original low life. Grew up, childhood friends with Boost and Billy, went to printing, and he made a big impact on hip hop. He original Junior Mafia member. Did beats, clothing lines. It goes on. Entrepreneurship to the finest.
Right.
That still dealt with the base of everything. Like I always say, going back to the original, not leaving the past, giving acknowledgement to people in the past. Therefore, when they want to walk through the same doors or the same network system that you've been through, they don't got to advocate or argue or display who they are. Right. You understand what I'm saying? They can pick up on who they are. I'm able to deal with that, and I deal with that in an unbiased way because I have no insecurities with myself. Because no matter how popular or how somebody impacted my life, I'm always going to keep it authentic and say how it is, because it's not going to take any light away from who I am, because who I became is who I am. You understand? And that's who I'm going to be. My characteristics is rich, and my history is like long living. Like I said before, it's about leaving a legacy now.
Right.
When I'm going back to the Queen Flip interview and going back to mainly taking my focus off of my peers, like I like to boast and brag saying that this is my whip. I'm driving this whip, right? I don't want to be distracted by the sidelines. I'm not looking on the side no more. I'm just staying focused on self. And when I stay focused on self, everything else is going to come together like connecting the dots, like I always like to boast about. because during my life or my peers' life, we made an impact on so much stuff. It's like, shout out Thurston Howard III. He just was recently in HBO documentary with Ralph Lauren.
That's big. That's heavy.
That was extremely major accomplishment. Like I advocated and explained before, when I was a child, I wrote Ralph Lauren when I was in DFY. So, and that used to be one of my dreams, to, work with Ralph Lauren.
Right.
But as I became older, as I saw how the culture was, how everything was, that wasn't my vision anymore. Actually, I adapted a new handle. That's why I say I grown from all Lauren to Mr. Foreign, never boring. I fuck with exported, not imported. You feel what I'm saying? Because even though we started out with polo, the essence of us was money holds and designer clothes. Having things that nobody else had. We was trendsetters, and we continue to be trendsetters. When I say that, meaning this, when most individuals is hustling, working a 9 to 5 or hugging the block, they're working, they're too preoccupied with their time to go shopping or shop accurately. That's when shoplifters, boosters, lowlights, we in the stores, we hitting the floors, we bring y'all what y'all want. Or our distant related cousins, which is the swipers, the chargers, the scammers. You feel what I'm saying? We bringing y'all the relevant, the hip shit. You feel what I'm saying? When I was a child, like I boast about I did the interview with Dapper Dan, the dude that used to dress the rappers, man. When I was a child, one of the reasons why he became popular, because he was an entrepreneur from his geographical location, which was Harlem. Alpo, Rich Porter, AZ, people of that nature was popular in the community. They supported their entrepreneur like they should have. Now, since they was popular, the rappers, when I was a child, emulated the streets. I'm gonna say that one more time. When I was a child, the rappers emulated the streets because it was coming from a message. So, since the rappers emulated the streets, Rakim, Eric B and them wanted to be like Supreme Magnetic. LL Cool J wanted to be like Prince and Preem and them. And Mob Style wanted to be like AZ, like Rich Porter and them. So therefore, when they saw them wear it, when Mike Tyson wore it, everybody else emulated, it became trending, it became fashion, it became hip. But guess what? It was fake. It wasn't genuine. So I'm not saying in a negative sense. Corporate America ran down on a brother, Dapper Dan, the OG, the fashion icon, and incarcerated it for him, which was wrong for him being innovative, because what he done they wasn't doing yet. But fast forward to present tense, he worked for them now in the corporation. He did his time, and they hired him. This is the type of stuff that I'm forcing, or me and my peers that's begging Ralph Lauren to do. Come down to our terms and work with us like that, because, what's that documentary? Oh, Complex, Horsepower. That's what they tried to picture in that interview, was that Ralph Lauren culture hip-hop brought polo to the level that it is today. And I beg the difference, statistics proved the difference, that it was the streets, it was the low lights, and it wasn't us personally, the shoplifters, the urban people. We brought it to the top. You understand what I'm saying? So they should give us the same thing in return. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we're advocating for now. If, no offense to anybody, shout out to Jay-Z, he acknowledged us. Great late Biggie Smalls, R.I.P. Kanye West. I don't know, the list goes on. Free Bill Cosby, like it's crazy. But we haven't gotten nowhere in the hole because we're not unified. Like I say again, in everything, it's 250,000 of us. It's a whole bunch of us. To get back to my logo again, it's 2 L's in it, but besides the 2 L's in the original logo was 5 mics. I used the 5 mics because hip-hop was and still is my form or my vehicle of communication. Music smooths the savage beast, and music is, majority and the origins of it is vibes. You know what I mean? It's a peace treaty. It's something that has a common denominator that somebody could come down, we could sit down and we converse or harmonize over. And that's what I usually chose to use and continue to use. If you bring it full circle nowadays, when I tell my peers in my inner culture, Panna, Face and all of them, they brought us into the modern sense, like the Mr. Foreign Never Boring. That's how that alter ego came out. Like in '95 when we was dealing with Versace, Mastino, things of that nature. Because like I say, we always want to stand out. We want to be different. Cartiers and things like that. And it's still the same thing now.